up there. We've been doing this for almost 2 years. So...
we're good? Are we on Facebook and YouTube?
You're on YouTube today.
Just YouTube. Okay, so...
I'm going to zoom into my YouTube here so we can answer.
And you're on there?
Yeah, we are logged into the computer.
Okay.
Ran into a couple technical difficulties, but we're here and we're working through them. And we're going to talk today to y'all about Odin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our new supercharger. And oh, I hear the sweet sound of 10-speed dyno poles going on right out there right now.
Yes, that is what is happening.
Let's see here, VMP. So it's been a crazy week this past week. We've had
coming off of Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Thanksgiving stuck in there on the Thursday.
Yeah, weird week.
Everybody in retail works just about every day except for Thanksgiving, and they probably work a little bit on Thanksgiving too. And we're basically in retail, bringing you parts and tunes and pieces and everything else. Here we go. Now, we've had a lot of good videos coming out on our YouTube channel recently, so maybe you're a new subscriber, maybe you're an old subscriber.
People apparently like it when you, or at least like to watch. I don't know that they like it, but they like to watch when you call out what Jay Leno did wrong.
You know, and there were some caveats to that. Like, I get what, I think, but, you know, oh, well, with emissions and this and that, but, you know, you can't caveat things too much or you just get called BS on them. And,
So that's what you did?
Yeah. I mean, listen, I love the factory. I love what they do. I know a lot of the reasons they do it, but there goes that dyno again.
His car is loud.
It is really loud.
Like, I'm surprised. It's not like my car where, like, the walls start crumbling around us.
Yeah.
But my car is just newly like that, so I don't associate my car with being that loud until I have to hear it.
So, you know, there's always more left. So as somebody said, you know, Justin, hold my beer while we make more power with this new GT500. I'm here for okay, so we got a bunch of comments here. Now we're working, yes. Here for the burnout.
Did you see the questions also?
Lots of SC wine. I don't have that link.
Yeah, we don't
have a way to get
a way to get to it. You can log into my Gmail.
I'm just...
You can go ahead.
Yeah.
I was going to say, just go ahead.
So we got a question from Chic Tres Jacinta. Why is it that all Roots TVS blowers for the GT don't whine? As soon as I saw the first Odin video, I was so shocked that she whined so loud. Well, is it good to have a lot of whine, or is it bad to have a lot of whine?
I have heard a lot of theories, and I don't know which one is based in fact, for that.
I mean, I'm going to say that the cold air not having an intake on it.
Right, I know why Odin was loud, but I've heard, you know, it's such a weird phenomenon to me. When we first started building my car, one of the things that people always said to me was, it's so impressive, it looks just like a normal Mustang. Well, yeah, and it was like, this is back in 2011, it's going, no, 2010, it's going 10-4. And they're like, oh, it looks just like a normal Mustang, you know, on the cusp of 9s here. And it is just a normal Mustang. And, like, they're like, it has a supercharger on it? I couldn't even hear. So, to me, that was really cool. But then some people said it wasn't so cool.
Yeah, I mean...
And they made whistles for your blower, essentially.
The sound tube mod, so you hear the blower inside the car. And I've actually got somebody that I'm sending a new cold air tube to today or tomorrow because they didn't want the sound tube mod. You know, really, like, if you just look at, like, the trend over the past 8-10 years, I mean, you've now got all these active exhaust systems, both factory and aftermarket, to make your car louder when you want it to be louder.
Yeah, you can hear what you want to hear when you want to hear it, essentially. And I guess that's what the demand is.
Yeah.
I guess. You know, I don't know. What do you guys think is cool? Is it cool to hear it, or
We got
Let
lights.
there be light.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you guys think? Is it cool to hear it? Not hear it? I mean, I don't hear a whole lot in my car except for a whole lot of friggin' exhaust noise at
Yeah.
this point. So I'm not real worried about it, but I can see if I were putting a supercharger on a brand new Mustang and it was going to be my daily driver, that I'd have an opinion about it. I don't know what my opinion would be though.
And I can tell you with Odin, it whines largely due to how well it flows. The sounds you hear, the whining sound, is noise escaping from the rotors, and the more free-flowing the inlet is, the more noise can escape back out the inlet. And like, I'm not just talking like the cold air and stuff like that. I'm talking about the throttle body, the whole insides go into the rotor. And I mean, that's why Odin is such a game changer, not just for the 265 TVS, but for larger blowers as well. Because we've paid attention to the flow and the design. Magnuson has some awesome patent pending technology that is in Odin. And yeah, it screams.
I think I have an idea of how I would feel about it if I were putting a supercharger on a stock Mustang. Tell me this, we were talking about active exhaust. When you got into the GT350, when we still had it, did you turn the active exhaust on or not?
No.
So I immediately, as I sat down in that car, as soon as my butt hit the seat, I turned into a 16-year-old boy, and I'm like, turn the active exhaust on right now.
And other people did the same thing, that friends that rode with me and stuff or drove it. They're just like, binocular button. I have to remember the owner of G-Force, Bob Engel, rode with me, and he's like, you gotta hit the old binocular button when you get in the car. And binoculars, because it's got two little tailpipes on it. So.
And every single time I just hit second gear because I'm a 16-year-old boy.
8,500 RPM and shift. I mean, that's really what that car was good for. It was a lot of fun to drive. So, moving on to some other questions. Will Odin be F-150 compatible? Yes, absolutely it will.
It is. We selling them. You should buy them.
So, 17 Roush Sam. What do you think of Austin's new 2020 GT500 making 690 to 705?
What do you think?
So I don't have a whole lot of time to browse the interwebs, but I do pick up on the stuff that's going with the new 2020 GT500, and I was stalking my Ford dealer over where ours was, and have gotten some insight into that, where it is. Sorry. So we are very much awaiting our GT500 here, VMP's very own GT500. But for now, we're just going to have to, watch what goes on in the interwebs.
Yep.
We do have a special something that's rather large and GT500 related that'll be here next week sometime. If I have time to knock out a video before PRI, I will.
I think you should make time for that.
I think so, because there's some really cool stuff in there that I want to include.
Yeah.
And
so did they release just numbers, or did they? I haven't seen anything because I haven't been on social media. Did they release just numbers, or did they release a graph?
He did track times and he did numbers. I assume he did a graph.
Okay, I don't know.
But they're making around high 600s, low 700s, like 705. Not really not more than that. And
I just want to see the whole graph. I need.
Right.
You know how I am. I need a whole picture. I can't just look at one thing and be satisfied.
It's funny because that's 100 wheel more than the old GT500. I remember it was a big thing when the first 13, 14 cars got dynoed, and they were like 575, 615. In terms of the OEM level performance, 100 rear wheel horsepower is like game changing for an OEM.
Astronomical.
Yeah. For us, we just turn some knobs here and there, and we do a little smaller, a little more.
Build a pulley.
Yeah, a little more boost, a little more this and that, a little tuning, and boom, we're up 100 horsepower. So, yeah, I mean, it's really impressive what Ford's doing. They underrated the car. I'm just going to come out here and say that, because you figure the drivetrain loss on 766? That's the official rating? Mm-hmm. Or 765? Yeah, I mean, that puts it down at So here's the interesting thing. If you use like a 10 or 12%, 10 to 11% drivetrain loss, you do end up around 680 wheel. So they're either underrating it or they have a very conservative drivetrain loss. Either way, they've covered their bases. We got more questions.
Yeah.
So this is more of a tuning question from King Cobra, so we're going to save that for Tuning Tuesday.
Okay.
Best to get on with Joe and Matt on Tuesdays at 1:30. And we got more questions about Odin.
Which was what we're supposed to be talking
Yes.
about, so that's good.
Will there be a carb version? Colorado cops like asking for that. So he's asking if there will be a carb legal version of Odin. California is the most famous for that, but some other states that have adopted California's methodologies.
For their emissions
Yeah.
standards.
And carb is just their own flavor of federal law, and it's really important to comply with federal law too. So we do have emissions legal versions of Odin planned as well. VMP active blower wine. It'll be a hit.
I come up with all the good ideas.
Yeah. I think that's something we should do. Shadrick Douglas, does it work with GT350? You can bolt an Odin onto a GT350, absolutely. Yeah. You know, the thing with GT350 is we're not crazy about the flat plane crank, so you'll need to find a tuner to tune it. Someone corrected the spelling of Odin. I love that. It's been, people want to spell it with an E. Yeah.
I haven't seen that before, but okay. And they're asking, does the Gen 3R whine as much as Odin? Quantifiably, I can't say. Like,
It's
decibel meter, I don't know.
I mean, it's similar technology. If you just want to think about some of the sound waves having to go around a corner. Yeah. And I mean, Odin technically has turns too, but it's more like a ski slope, so I feel like it's more line of sight than the Gen 3R with the rear inlet. We've got some questions about making 800 wheel horsepower on an S197.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's the same question over and over
Yeah.
again. I got overwhelmed for a second.
Somehow got duplicated.
It happens.
So our Gen 3R blower will make that very, very easily on E85. And yeah. So somebody told him 750 wheel. We're getting some duplicate questions, so just please be patient.
Yeah,
We'll
I'm
get
just trying
to
to
them.
read through them.
Yeah.
Which one are you on?
You know what? Okay. R4 asks, what are the limits of a 2014 GT500 with a VMP Gen 2 R on E85 with ID 1050X injectors and a VMP booster? He's looking for a recommended combo, pulley combo upper and lower. He also just got the boosters. So that's kind of like a blast from the past. Putting a Gen 2R on a 1314 car. We did that a lot back in the day. We did a lot with the Trinity blowers. I mean, we still do. In this day and age, we're using the Gen 3 and the Gen 3R a lot on the Trinity cars. It's more of an upgrade and it makes more horsepower. So like if you look at Mustang Lifestyles channel, we've done a lot with him on pump gas with boosting and E85. I think we did some true pump gas numbers too. Keep in mind with dyno numbers, it's very easy for them to swing like 20 to 40 wheel horsepower based on conditions and on fuel quality. And I mean, I will tell you when we do videos and stuff like that, we're shooting for the best numbers possible. So it's the idea of the upper end. If you recreate the combo and go to a dyno and you make 20 horsepower less, consider that within the range of variability. So that being all said, about 18 pounds of boost, which is a 10% lower and a 2.4 upper, is a pretty good combo for that car on E85. You just really got to watch the fuel system. The factory fuel pumps running on E85 are working really, really hard, even with a booster and ID 1050s. So Huncho James asks, are you planning on being competitive with the new GT500 and racing it to be the fastest, quickest? That's a good question.
That is a good question. It's an overwhelming question at this very moment.
You know, like everything that Rebecca does, like we know how to get that car to go extremely fast. And it just, you know, it starts with a big stack of money, you end up with a small stack of money, and you end up with a car that is nothing like a GT500. So that's really the struggle. And
it's something that, like, I don't know, we struggle with as a company. Like, we want what we do to relate to what you guys are doing too. So if I go and, like, for instance, my 15 car that looks like an 18 car. Like, okay, number one, it doesn't look like a 15 anymore. Number two, like, yeah, we went and put a 9-inch in it, and it's a beautiful 9-inch, and I'm proud to have it, and I'm excited as heck to drive it, but it does get a little bit further removed from what you're doing. So, I mean, initially with our GT500, we're going to be doing stuff that is really applicable to what our consumers are going to be doing, because it's all fun for us, but that's what makes the most sense for us.
you know, like even when we did do that extreme, you know, going to a solid axle in an S550 car, there is now a kit you can purchase to do the same thing that we did. And we, you know, along with TRZ Motorsports, spearheaded the development of that.
Absolutely, and a lot of what we're doing is research and development, and with something brand new like the GT500, we're going to want to do stuff that...
And that research and development translates into products for our consumers. We just don't want to outpace our customers.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we don't want to do stuff that, like, not every customer has a stack of money. Listen, if you buy a GT500, they're not cheap, but not everybody's going to go and buy a $100,000 car and spend $100,000 on it. You know, we're going to do mods that make sense and progress from there. There's going to be a lot of new products, and we're going to challenge ourselves and challenge our partners to develop new products to make more horsepower. And it's going to kind of have a natural progression to it. So back to Odin stuff. We had a question, will there be an R version of Odin? You know, we needed to start a new line because Odin is just so different than anything we've done before.
Yeah, absolutely.
There are already multiple versions of Odin tuned for different horsepower levels. So we'll be releasing more information on that.
Yeah. And will it necessarily be called R? No.
Right, yeah.
But will we have different iterations based on what you are wanting to do? Tuning the supercharger, essentially, like Justin said. Yep, we will. We want to make sure that we meet you where you are.
So we had a question from 303 Street Machines. How do you get the name for the blower? So Odin is the god of breath, and in Norse mythology, there's actually multiple gods in Norse mythology, and they fought with each other at some point. Yeah. So Odin fit the spirit of what we were doing, and there's something interesting in it. Odin is Thor's father, so we thought that was kind of a cool tie-in.
Yeah.
So yeah, we ran with it, and
I think, you know, I've talked about that it was fun to develop and fun to kind of just weave the storyline a little bit.
Yeah. Not yet, Carter. Sit down and wait, please. So we had some questions about the intercooler design in Odin and whether it'll make it into future blower tech. And I think the answer is yes.
Yeah, we're always learning and developing.
And like certain elements of that, like the new GT500 is a blow-up style supercharger with a top-mounted intercooler core. And if you look at like a Hellcat, it's got a blow-up style with two intercooler cores, one on either side. So there's a lot of it's been a natural evolution of the industry, but then there ends up being some specific ways we do it and some specific ways we tune it.
Yeah, how we apply it.
Yeah. Dale Singh says, fast cars. That's what I'm talking about.
Is it?
Making cars fast, making fast cars faster, making lots of horsepower. That's what we like to do here at VMP. So Derek Sizemore has a question. What kind of power would you expect a built Gen 1 Coyote with a Gen 3R 69mm pulley, 5% lower, and E85 to make?
A whole heck of a lot.
That's like that's like the 1,000 rear wheel horsepower sauce. Like, put one of our 163R throttle bodies on there, and there's no reason that sucker should not make 1,000.
Yeah.
Like that.
Put a 163 on there and go to the track.
And I mean, it's not being worked that hard, but it'll do it. SVT GT500 asks, Odin versus Gen 3R and GT500, does it really have a difference in performance or horsepower? So given that that's a GT500, the Odin is a Coyote specific blower, and really like the big difference in this stuff is a Coyote, you have to make a whole new lower manifold to supercharge it because there was just a plastic intake manifold there before. With GT500,
Did we do stream carry or no? We're good?
No.
Okay, I don't know why I thought we did, but I did. Just checking. Oh, because our thing turned red, that's why I thought so.
let's see here. We're getting red on our side, so it says we're live.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so going back to the GT500, the GT500 is already factory supercharged. It already has a manifold there. The engine cooling system flows through the manifold. A lot of elements of the car are designed around that. So we're doing head unit swaps, and Odin is an entire supercharger assembly. I don't know at what point, if ever, we'll ever look at that. I mean, our Gen 3R has made huge advancements in rear feed supercharger technology for the GT500.
Absolutely.
And we're happy with the power numbers 12, 1300 wheel that we're seeing out there.
But you know what Eric Holiday said yesterday? 2,000, everybody has 2,000 horsepower now.
Yeah, yeah. So we're getting we're getting a lot of questions today. We got 54 people watching.
Whoa. Hi, everybody. Hi, all 54 of you.
So I'm Gray says, so really, unless you drag race for cash, why do you need any more horsepower than the supposed 760? I mean, for you, it's all about the money, but really.
Well, why don't you? Like, I'm not trying to be obtuse or naive about it, but there are lots and lots of people that do not drag race for cash that want lots of horsepower. Like, because I feel like this is not going to satisfy you, and I get that, I'm Grace, and it's just a different philosophy, and I'm fine with that. But there are people that just want horsepower, and that's cool. That's their thing.
I own guns at home, and not everybody wants to own guns.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of concept.
America is about excess. And if you can quote Ricky Bobby for me, because it's one of your favorite movies.
Which one? Oh, Fast. I don't know it off the top of my head. It's the Eleanor Roosevelt quote.
It's the
Fast, nasty speed.
Yeah.
I can't even remember it.
Yes, Carter.
Put me on.
America is all about speed. Hot, nasty, bad, flip, speed.
Yes.
Put me on the spot, and I don't know it.
Speed is just another form of excess that we indulge in thoroughly here.
I mean, why do you need an extra large fry from McDonald's? You don't. I promise you, you don't. But I'm going to buy it some days because I want to eat it.
Other people need to go 110 on the Autobahn.
Oh, man. In that case, why do you need a GT500? I mean, a Mustang GT is fine.
I mean, why can't we just all drive 3-cylinder Geos or whatever?
Yeah, or what was the modern version of the Geo, the Ford Fiesta?
Yes, the Fiesta that I drove all around Scotland.
Yeah, 3-cylinder turbo, 1.5 liter.
Yeah.
So Bambuzo had a question. Do you guys plan on making the 10 rib kit fit the Odin? Absolutely.
Yeah, we want you guys to make lots of power.
Odin is just like all of our other 265 TVSs. It loves blower RPM. And because it has this great free-flowing front inlet, it loves blower RPM even more. So 10 rib, big balancers, small pulleys, all about that. So Shadrick Douglas says, so yeah, that's a yes on the R Odin. Like Rebecca said, it won't be called an R Odin.
Rodin.
But Rodin.
I think there's some girl on my Facebook selling that stuff from high school or something, Rodin and Fields.
I've never heard of it. So another question from Chic Tres Sesenta. What software is being used for the tune? HP Tuners, question mark. And I will say we use both HP and SCT here. Mm-hmm. Danny Taylor. Okay, here's a regular that I recognize.
Hey, Danny.
Hey, hope you guys are doing well. Love the new Odin blower. Finally an option for 18-up cars. Yes.
Yep.
Charged Roush. All hail Odin. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Jed Smara, how much horsepower is safe to make on an 18 car with the E85 and Odin? Stock motor except OPG, CS, and no cats. It's a really good question. I mean, E85 brings the octane, it brings the cooling, it makes power really, really easily, and you don't even really have to shove a lot of timing in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would say 800, 850, like not even trying. You know, you start to put smaller pulleys on there, and you put like this big bad arse throttle body on there. And sorry, honey, and you're talking 850, 900, 950, 1,000, and you start saying, whoa, your tuner starts saying, whoa, slow down here. Rob Campbell, addicted to speed and going faster. Yep. Chic asks again, meth injection, can it be sprayed pre-blower or will it eat up the coating on the rotors? You can spray a little bit of it. Consult your tuner because there's some tuning
they're
complications.
gonna have some opinion on it.
We apparently missed I'm Gray's point. Derek Sizemore says, oh, you want to take that one, Rebecca?
Yeah, so Derek says that he has a similar setup to my S197 car, and how much power do you think the Turbo 400 takes away from dyno numbers compared to the 6R80? It takes away a significant amount, is my opinion on it. We've not done a back-to-back comparison, so I can't say it's this percent or that percent. When we switched to the Turbo 400, we were switching other things at the same time, so I can't say an exact amount, but it does take up a good amount. I mean, my mile per hour is not reflective of my dyno numbers most of the time.
And like for a car with a Turbo 400, you'll never get a good torque reading out of it because the converter can't lock up. It's an open converter. So you just look at horsepower, but they go faster at the track.
Mm-hmm. You don't want 1760 foot without some torque.
I mean on a 1,000, 1,200 horsepower car, it's potentially 50 to 100 wheel that you're read lower, which is what, call it 5 to 10% more drivetrain loss. But you don't worry about it because they're so much faster at the track. So
I cannot, on any given day, I cannot tell you dyno numbers on my car because it just never has mattered to me. Like, it runs what it runs.
Yeah, I mean, the pulley size.
And if it doesn't run as fast as it's supposed to, it's my fault.
Well, no. The pulley size and the tune and the conditions are what determine how fast your car is going to go.
I can screw it up, too.
And
I have.
You go miss a shift here and there. It's not a big deal.
I have. You know what? I'm a human being.
So we had a question from T. Hetzler. What would you estimate the power to be with Odin Supercharger on an 1819 with stock exhaust manifolds? So that's a really good question and one that we often gloss over because all of our cars are modified. Everybody's looking for the big numbers. The base Odin kit is going to be available in a couple different flavors, and like there's even a stock throttle body flavor for like the really cost conscious people. And most people are going to opt for at least a twin 69 throttle body and our cold air. So you're going to be looking around 700 wheel and like very mild, very safe, very repeatable. No problem making that type of power. You know, it's funny, when we designed Odin, we designed up to a 3.5-inch pulley to fit, which is a 92 millimeter, and that's just...
It's like a dinner plate.
Yeah, you'd say, I think I had one here one time. You can put your
Yeah.
drink holder, Coke can holder, whatever. E-Rock says, I need Odin on my 19. I agree. Yes,
Yes,
give us
we're
a
doing
call.
pre-sales. And with our pre-sales, I think this is a good time to mention this. You get the little commemorative plaque that tells you which number blower you have, and also a T-shirt.
Yeah, and those blower numbers are they are getting up there, so you want to get on that pre-sale ASAP. So 10R80 Daily has, what's a question? What's going to be the best throttle body to run on Odin for a daily driven 18 to 20 GT? And that, like, our twin 69, all of our twin blade stuff, twin jet stuff works really, really good. And like, we were on the dyno one time and we accidentally made like 1,000 wheel on a twin blade throttle body with a Gen 3R. Odin has so many improvements over Gen 3R that just like everything gets better and it's easier to make horsepower.
And that's where like Eric was being facetious, but everybody makes 2,000.
Yeah, I mean, like, the technology in our industry is moving so fast, and it's driven by consumer demand and competition, that twin 69 is going to make 700, 800, 900 rear wheel horsepower very easily. Probably even make 1,000 on Odin, but most people are going to end up with one of these big monster 163Rs.
I'm gonna have to clean this. I've put my fingerprints all over it because I apparently like to play with it.
That's okay. It looks good still.
I'll clean it afterwards.
So we have this throttle body on the show because this is the Odin specific 163R. I'm just going to go ahead and throw it right out there that the electronics moved to the other side of the throttle body for Odin. And that was just a function of the intake design and stuff. So this is why we've had a non-standard throttle body on Odin in testing, just because we just grabbed one off the shelf because these weren't in yet.
But they're here.
So Chill Mall says, would love having a Mustang just to throw your blower on there, but as it turns out, I'm just too broke to either afford the Mustang or the Supercharger. We feel you, bro.
That's okay. We're going to be here. When you get the money, we'll still be here.
Yeah. Michael Callahan says he ordered a vacation package Odin for his F-150. He wants the 10 rib drive, the 163R, and the E85. The E85. Doable. That was my adding the "the" in front of the E85, so don't blame him. Is that doable with the JD Performance twin pump return style fuel system? I mean, it's all doable. I'm worried about your rods and pistons. You know, I guess it's worth noting that those 3.4-inch and 3.5-inch pulleys are available for the 10 rib too, if we want to turn it down. The proof is in the pudding. If the Gen 3R has already been in the 7s, Odin is going to be nasty too. I agree.
A nice vote of confidence.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, this has been a freaking off-the-hook burnout box. So
it's been
thanks
great.
for waiting patiently with us. So I got started late.
Worked out our technical difficulties.
Yeah. And definitely next week we'll be from the PRI show in Indianapolis, Indiana.
You know what? When we get to the airport in Indy, they have a sign that says Indy, and I need to take a picture and to go with
her.
Indy.
Yes. And so make sure you here, come here, Carter.
Thank you guys very much for the nice compliments about the thanking us and telling us it's a good show. We've enjoyed it, and we definitely want to hear more of your questions in the future. And go ahead, Car.
Bye. Thank you. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe.
Nice job.
Bye.
We will
Have a good day.
see you next time.
We'll see you next week. Well, I won't, but. Is it still on? Harry?